Hello and welcome wherever you are, on whatever time it is on the planet. Let's go and paint something. How about a landscape? Okay, I'm doing my usual here. I don't set out when I'm painting to paint with a particular blue. I tend to pick up what's closest at hand and then change it on the painting. So I'm just blending the two together here to give a light horizon and a dark top to the sky. And later I'll be adding a few clouds, like so. And clouds aren't easy. Clouds aren't difficult. The thing is to believe they're easy. All they are white fluffy things on a blue background or a slightly bluish reddish background. You can make it up as you go along. Right, I'm establishing the skyline here. I'm surrounded by this sort of landscape and I find it absolutely stunning, so it's going to come out in my paintings whether I want it to or not at the moment. And I'm pushing the paint now because there's a lot of oil. I've used a lot of oil in the paint so that I can actually push the paint away to get the light areas that I'll be adding colour to later. Unless I like the look of them, then I'll leave them exactly as they are. In other words, that sort of scraped look. And I'm using a very old scruffy brush to do this. And you can do this for showing like a ploughed field in the distance, just by scraping lines. You can actually use a hair comb and just drag it across your painting. That'll give you parallel lines, but that's not necessarily what I'm after. And here I'm just scruffing up the edges of the trees so that then there's not too much of a hard line between the trees and the sky. And now the Q-tips come out just for a few light spots. And the light catching a few large trees. Well, that's it for the first painting. It is a painting, but it's by no means a finished painting. It's more of a sketch that I can look at when I decide to paint it on a larger scale. So we just get rid of that one. There it is, photographed properly. My video doesn't actually produce the best images, but the camera does do good still shots. So these bits of paper, it's quite a heavy board, and I've put 2 layers of gesso on the paper, and I paint in one direction, let it dry, and then paint in another, and it gives almost like a canvas texture. Okay, so for the next one I'm going to have a nice bright light spot on some distant field or on the side of a hill quite a long way away. And here I'm just putting in the darks to establish roughly where the trees are going to go. I suppose this is really the only drawing that I actually do. I don't believe in drawing on the canvas or board in pencil first, because I usually know what I'm going to do, and I can see it, and I don't want any pencil lines showing through either, accidental or otherwise. Here I'm putting a bit of green in the sky to mix with the blue. This will help give the feeling of perspective. It's called local colour, so that the land and the sky are actually slightly connected, which of course is what happens when it's hazy in the distance. So I'm going straight into some clouds here. Again, just chuck the paint on, it'll know where to go eventually. And I've added a little bit of red to the sky. It's actually magenta, but there we go, softening up the horizon. And then the cotton buds again, a few light spots in the foreground. With cotton buds you can only use each end twice, one side of the bud or Q-tip, whatever you want to call it, and then turn it around and use the other, and then it's no good, you have to throw it away. I get through quite a lot of these things. And this is highly impressionistic painting. There's absolutely no detail in here. If you think you see detail in any of these paintings, it's all an illusion. So a few more dark shapes for the trees. Obviously in the foreground, it goes without saying really that you would use larger trees to give the illusion of perspective. Here I'm adding a little bit of Naples yellow to the sky. It's coming out looking a bit too strong on the yellow side, but you'll see in the final photograph any second now. And the last painting, this one's going to have a nice orange sky, so good stripe of orange across the picture. A little bit of pale orange at the top, and then blending the two together. Not too much, I like a little bit of edge to my paintings. And a few blobs of white, just to give the impression of some clouds. And then I'm putting a bit of green here because that's where some light is going to catch the grass below the sky. A few dark bits either side, which are the bases of the trees. When the paint's dry enough, I'll use these dark areas to actually put in some pale coloured trunks. And here I'm using a bit of kitchen towel just to get some texture. And again, I'm using an extremely tatty old brush, and I'm pushing the bristles up from the light part of the painting into the dark area to give the appearance of light catching a bit of grass or foliage. Tiny bit of red on the edge of the green so that it looks as though the light from the orange sky is coming through the leaves. Very, very rough. This is an extremely quick sketch, and but I can copy this across to a much bigger board in the future when I decide to paint it. And there we are. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.